What is up, guys? Today is Monday. We're going to continue with our Monday basics, right? We're going to go ahead and look for some sell opportunities. And we're going to go ahead and cover the danger zone today, right? The confirmation trade from higher time frame to lower time frame, right? Macro to micro. So we're going to go ahead and break down a lot of stuff today. It's going to be a very detailed call. So make sure you guys take your notes. If you have to rewatch the video, do what you got to do. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? So as the market is going down, the first thing that we got to worry about, guys, is structure. So if we don't have structure, there's nothing really we can go off of, right? So let's go ahead and continue. Right now, market is creating a low. Cool. At some point, market's going to have to pull back, right? So let's go ahead and create that lower low. Market's starting to pull back and do what it's supposed to do. Awesome. So right now, this is what we have, guys. Lower low, lower high, right? Lower low, lower high. And we want the market to go ahead and give us a break of structure to the downside. We want this BOS. What's up, Christopher? You have a question, bro?
Yeah, man. Like, all right. So when you're coming down with the BOS, like with your BOS, right? So you're coming down with it, and then your sales will skyrocket in a sense, right? Of a portion of X amount of numbers.
Can you ask that question one more time, bro?
Well, I'm new to this, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I really don't know much. My buddy's trying to get me into all this. Shout outs to Michael. Um, I'm just, you know, I'm like I said, I have no idea really what I'm getting into. So I wanted to know, like, so your red markers right here or orange, they're the sales as they go down or up.
Yeah, as we go down, these red candles are the markets dropping down.
Okay, I
Right.
figured.
So
Okay.
yeah, cool. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now, bro, I'm actually breaking down how to look for an entry, how to look for a sell entry. Now, since you don't know much, this may be a little bit complicated for you. But what I want you to do, bro, is just, watch how we work, watch how we ask the questions. If you have any questions yourself, go ahead and unmute and type them in the chat. But
All right.
yeah, the best thing you can do is take your notes and then write down your questions on your notes. So when you do have them, boom, we can go ahead and ask those and answer those for you. But
Okay.
yes, sir. So again, we want the market to go ahead and continue giving me a lower low, right? We don't have that yet. So we have to wait for that. Now let's go ahead and continue. As the market's dropping, guys, it's super important. I even like to leave my lines right here, right? I like to leave my line because as soon as the market breaks and closes below, then we know, right? The market can do what it wants to do, and it could actually bounce off of that line. It can bounce off that line, and we could start heading up. And now we have equal lows, lower low, lower high, equal low, right? Now we have some type of support, right? Does that make sense, guys? So it doesn't matter how long the market stays in this area. We have to wait for that market to break and close below. We have to wait for that market to break and close below. Give me a 2 if that makes sense, guys.
Makes sense.
Awesome. So let's go ahead. Market may bounce up just a little bit, right? Do what it's supposed to do. And then we get something that looks like this. Boom. We finally get that, right? We finally get the bearish BOS that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and we will write BOS. Let's confirm it, right? We finally got the break of structure. Now, again, when we're able to see a break of structure, guys, this should let us know right away the market wants to continue down. We should start looking for sales now, right? That makes sense, right, guys? If that doesn't make sense, please give me a question mark. Once we get the break of structure and the market is finally continuing down, lower low, lower high, and we finally get this break of structure, the market wants to continue down now. If it wasn't ready, it would just stay right here and move sideways. So once we get that move to the downside, the market wants to start heading down. It wants to continue in that bearish trend. So once we identify this breakout rally to the downside, we follow that rally back up to the last buying candle. So we got 1 red, 2 red, 3 red right here. This last buying candle This is my starting point. I want to look right here for entries for sales, right? This is my starting point. So again, guys, this is our sell entry zone. We want to take some sell opportunities right here in this red box, in this red zone right here. Right? So we already found our starting point. We found our entry. What do we have to do next, guys? Where are my vets at? What do we have to do next? Once we find the starting point, what do we have to look for?
Stop loss.
Stop loss. Let's go. Now, once we find our starting point, we have to find the highest wick in that area. And we'll just use this, right? So boom, we have a stop loss right here. So this is it. We have our setup, right? So we have this, what's going on right here. Lower low, lower high, BOS. We have now found our starting point. We are looking to continue taking our sales when the market pulls back, right? So at this point, guys, the market is right here in my example, right? The market is right here. The market has not came up to our sell zone yet. Are we all together right now? Are we all together right now, guys? Right now we have lower low, lower high, lower low. We're waiting for the market to come back. Give me a sell opportunity so we can continue the market in that downward trend. Does anybody have any questions? Chris, I know you might have questions, bro, but it's because you're very, very new. If you do have those, though, you can definitely type them in the chat or ask them. All right, we are good. Awesome. So now look, guys. And again, this can be a higher time frame zone, right? This whole play right here might be a daily setup. And I'm just going to put this right here, or 4-hour setup. Let's just put 4-hour setup. Four-hour setup right here. Right now, when the market wants to come back, when the market makes its way back, guys, we're going to be dropping down to a time frames or a couple time frames. It all depends on what structure looks like, right? But once we start going up to our sell zone and we're in our sell zone, we have to start dropping time frames. And this is where we go from, you know, the 4-hour possibly down to the 5-minute, the 15-minute inside of this area down here. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, right? When the market starts to
Yes.
head back up and touches our sell zone, right? Once it touches our sell zone, that's really all we want to worry about, right? So let's go ahead. We'll make this a bit cleaner. We'll use the black one. All right, market starts to come back up. We got to break a structure to the upside. Now, guys, this is important. Let's make this a bit thinner. This is important, guys. We have to start marking up our BOSs. Always mark up your BOSs. Guys, if you think you're too cool to mark up your charts, that's crazy, right? That's crazy talk, right? Mike still marks up his charts. Oren, I mean, you guys watch Oren, that dude draws all over his charts, right? Valentino marks up his charts, right? Guys, all the good traders, all the good educators, they mark up their charts. Who wants to be the best? Who wants to be good at trading, guys? You guys have to get your hands dirty.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't want to be great, Vinny.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Guys, you guys have to mark up your charts. You have to. What's up? Oh, you're saying me? Okay, got you. You have to, right? So as we start to come up to my sell zone, we have to mark up our break of structures, and this is important. Now, we also have to mark up our change of character line. So let's just have that right here. Need change of character or change of direction for a sell opportunity. Now, this is important, right? Because until we break and close below, we're going to continue higher. We can chill all right here and go sideways, but if we don't break and close below this black line, we're going to continue higher, right? And it rinse and repeats itself. So as the market gives me a break of structure to the upside. We have to adjust. We have one more break of structure and we adjust our change of character line. Because if the market wanted to go ahead and reverse now we have confirmation. We're looking for sales and we can start looking for sales and continue the market down. But until that happens, we are not looking for sales unless the market breaks and closes below, or we go up a bit higher and touches my sell zone. We're either waiting right here or we're waiting for the market to break and close below this line for sell opportunities. Right? So let's go ahead. Now, again, guys, Oren likes to call it the danger zone. But really, I just want to call it the confirmation zone. Right? Oren likes to call it the danger zone. I want to call it the confirmation zone, right? Because we want to look for the confirmation in here to let us know that the market is going to go ahead and respect, right? And this is why we test trade, guys. This is why we test trade first touches, because what if the market is very volatile that day and we just, boom, market shoots up and then we hit our stop loss? That's why it's called the danger zone, because we don't really have a say. We don't really have a say if the market's going to respect this area yet. When do we have confirmation? When the market breaks and closes below this line. Once we have the break and close below this line, we finally have the confirmation off of the confirmation zone. We can now start looking for more sell opportunities. Right? So the first touch, guys, should always be a test trade. Right? And this is where it's going to get a little bit messy, but I'm going to try to simplify it for you guys. All right. So if you guys need me to, rearrange anything to make it a bit clear for you, for your guys' notes, please let me know. Please let me know. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit so we can have some more room. All right. I'm going to put that up here too, might as well. And just know, I'm going to highlight this in red actually. Yeah, so I'm talking about this area. Cool. So the first touch, guys. I see y'all. The first touch is always going to be a test trade. This is a super under leveraged trade, guys. Super under leveraged trade. Instead of risking 1%, maybe you're risking 0.25%. Right? Maybe a tenth. Maybe instead of risking 0.25, which is a quarter, maybe you risk 0.10, which is a tenth. Right? Michael said 0.2%. Yeah, that's a good test trade. Right? That's a good test trade. I even like to break it down to a fifth. Right? I'm going to take, this is what I like to do right here. I'm going to break it down right here. Instead of taking 1%, right? I'm going to break that down into quarters. 25, 25, 25, 25, right? Make that bit bigger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 125 and take that out, move that out the way for my test trade. So then my test trade, I'm going to break up that 25 into fifths. 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%. Oh, my fingers are like tweaking right now. It's funny. 0.5%. Does that make sense? I took 0.25 and I broke it up into 5 times. So now I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I have 5 test trades if I want to take them, if I need to take them, right? Most of the time you'll see like the market's not going to go your way within 2 or 3 setups, right? So that's how I like to break it up. I like to break them up into fifths, right? So my first test trade, this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and give them, a fifth of a percent right here. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Because I know once we start talking about numbers, everyone's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Trust me, even though it's like basic math, I was there too. Like I thought I was gonna learn about setups, bro.
Hey Vinny, so ideally, just to confirm, we want to trade 1% a day only, nothing more.
You can do it like that. Then you'll just have to break up your percentages, per trade inside of Trade Locker, or you can risk 1% per trade. But again, you have to break up and use right percentages per the trade, per trade, especially if you're going to risk a quarter or a fifth of a percent for the, for that first touch for that one trade. You have to understand where you're at when you're breaking down percentages. Does that make sense? You could either risk 1% a day or 1% per trade. But, obviously I say that and people are going to start like trading 10 pairs or 10 trades at a time at 1%. Like you guys have to have quality setups as well. Like in my opinion, there's only like maybe like 4 or 5, 3 to 5 good setups a week. And that's like on multiple pairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If I could say something, the reason I use 0.2% is because I use a lot of prop firms. And so I'll take the 5% that I can draw down completely before I lose the account, and I'll break it down into how many trades I want in my trading plan. So with a 0.2 on my new account, that gives me 50 trades that I can actually sit there and put into a trading plan and actually verify throughout the process.
Right. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. Because if you don't do it like that, guys, how many trades are you going to take until you blow that prop firm account? You know what I'm saying?
1%.
Exactly. 5, if you trade 1% on each trade with the prop firm, you're already blowing your account because they only give you 5% drawdown a day, I believe. Right. So that's one thing to
like 5% max and like 2.5 a day.
Okay, well, that's even tighter. Like you have to be really tight on your risk to reward and breaking down your setup. So that you have to know, right? That you have to know. So that question really, I believe that was Isha, is really just off of personal use. I hope that makes sense.
That was me, but yes, it did make sense. Thank you.
Okay, Catherine. Yeah. Okay, got you. So got you. So again, right here, we have our test trade. And I like to put 1/5 of a percent. Snap, it's huge. It's like, okay, it's like 15, 16. All right, bet. No border, no background. Actually, let's make that because it's bugging me for some reason. All right, cool. We'll keep it like that. So this is our test trade, right? Now we have to wait for the market shift to happen. We have to wait for this to happen in order for us to go ahead and throw down a heavier lot in this area so we can send the market down. But until that happens, guys, we're waiting. We're sitting tight. So let's go ahead. Market starts to consolidate. Market starts to consolidate. Now that's a good thing, guys. When the market starts to move from left to right underneath your sell zone, that's a good thing. Because then we're expecting, matter of fact, what are we expecting, guys? When we can see that the market is consolidating right underneath your sell zone, what could we be thinking in our heads right now? Because we have to foresee this as well, guys. We have to start thinking ahead.
A possible liquidity sweep.
A possible liquidity sweep. We're waiting for because the money, there's money being built right here, guys. The banks have stopped playing and they're letting retail, people who trade support and resistance, they're letting them play right here. So we're waiting for the banks to come in, sweep their liquidity, put us into an opportunity. Now, once that happens, we have to continue to adjust. We had our very last break of structure right here. We need to go ahead and adjust our change of character line. Now, again, we are simply only in a test trade right now. Because again, what if the news or something happens and the market says, you know what, we're gone. We want to continue. If anything, we only lost our test trade. That's fine, right? Now, look, we're waiting for this confirmation. So as the market drops and goes our way, we finally get this change of direction. So let's confirm. Change of direction to the downside. Now, again, guys, this time frame, the blue lines, this could be happening on the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 1 hour. It all depends on how far our closest pullback is, right? So we'll get into that on the live charts, but this can be the 1 hour, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and I really don't drop down lower than the 5, to be real. I just don't. What you're seeing on the 1 minute is pretty much 5-minute structure. You know, it clears up candles. So just keep that in mind, right? This is lower time frame, and I'm just gonna put this right here too. Shoot. Let's put this. Let's put this right here. Lower time frame setup, and I'll make this blue so you can understand. Let's make that bold too. Yes, sir. All right. Cool. So now that we got this, guys, now that we got this going on, we got a change of direction. For the sell opportunity, we are now looking for some more sell opportunities, right? Our test trade is in profit. Let's go. We really do this. Let's give us some golf claps, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new. It's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? So now look, we get our change of direction. We can now start looking for some more sell opportunities. Whether you use the starting point or the head and shoulder, completely up to you guys. But we still have our next opportunity right here. Now, for this example, I'm going to use the high as a stop loss, right? So now this is where we can go ahead and throw down our 1%. Oops. Now, again, I told you guys, this is going to be a detailed call. You're going to have to rewatch this and take your notes. Let's see, can I make this blue? Yeah. Boom. All right, cool. Guys, are we making sense? Do we have any question marks right now? Any question marks right now?
Yes. So liquidity sweep, does it mean like it changes the direction?
Yes. I mean, not every time there will be a change of direction, but that's what's most important, right? That's what we have to look out for. So let's move this real quick. When we're able to see that the market is building up money right here, right? Support and resistance, higher high, higher low, equal highs, resistance, equal lows, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. When we're looking for sales, that's something that we want to see, because once we can get the market to go that much more higher into our sell zone, once we can get this, that's good. The next thing we want to see, as soon as we get that sweep, we want to see the market change direction and start heading down now. Once we get that, right, once we get this change of direction, that's confirmed that we were right, and we could start looking for more sell opportunities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. We have, I'm gonna move this right here. All right. Dang, whoever hopped in late is like, damn, this motherfucker went off, right? But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. If you showed up late, that's on you. But to everybody who showed up on time, this makes sense, correct? I don't want to know, but like, bro, if someone is like staying quiet right now, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. Please, if you guys are confused about anything, please let me know, right? Please let me know. So this is what we're going to be looking at for sell opportunities, right, guys? Next week, we'll be going over the buy opportunities the same exact way, right? So let's go ahead and just finish this off. Market comes back into our zone because we know we're looking for more sales, and we take the market in that downtrend. Let's go ahead. Boom. Guys, take your screenshots. Take your screenshots. This is a fire. This is a gem right here. I promise y'all. You guys want this. I look for this setup every single day. Every single day, I look for this setup, guys. Every single day, I look for this setup. And you know what? It's freaking great. All right, so let's go ahead. We will look at some setups, guys. We're ready, right? We want to go look at some setups. We're good. We're locked in.
We locked in, bro.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Honestly, some of the JPYs have been looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They've been taking their sweet time, that's for sure. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, they're not always gonna listen and do what they do. So let's go ahead. Was there a higher time frame? Give me a second. All right, cool. So check this out. In this specific area, right? The market is heading down. And I've been liking the yens for sales for a minute. Right now, they're consolidating a whole lot, but I do like, you know, looking for some more sell opportunities. This looks a bit different on higher time frame for me for some reason. I don't know why, but it looks a lot cleaner on my trading view. But anyways, you know, I do like the shift that happened here. We had a BOS to the upside and then the change of character to the downside. Right. So after that, we've definitely been chilling in this range, and the market, it looks like it wants to start continuing down now. Continuing down now. So higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. Is the market going to go ahead and continue down, making new lows? Right. That's what I want to see. Right. I would not mind seeing some of that. Right. And this is the uglier JPY. CHF is usually pretty ugly in any pair you trade with. But I do like how it's respecting right here, right? So notice how we do have that bearish trend. So we can already see that the structure is fairly bearish in this area, and we do have BOSs to the downside, right? BOS here, and the levels is giving us a hint. It's saying, hey, we have our red arrows. When we have our red arrows, guys, match that with the bears. Use that. Use levels. Let them help you find some setups. It's okay, right? Let's go ahead and highlight this. We'll cover that. Extend, right? Remove it. Cool. Now we can see that the market gave a really, really good rejection off of that, right? Fire. I mean, it did everything we're supposed to do. Now let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame. Structure looks a bit iffy in this area, but I still like the structure up above. I still like that structure up above because we do have this sweep and we have that change of direction or that continuation play that we're looking at. So we have a head and shoulder play right here. Left shoulder, neckline, head. Now look at this, guys, right? Look at this. We have a low. Now, honestly, we do have a little shift of structure here, but this is ugly to me. This almost gives me like equal high vibes. Not gonna lie, right? And then we have equal lows. So I would not mind. I mean, this kind of looks like this is liquidity, right? In my eyes, this kind of looks like liquidity. And then we have liquidity to the downside as well. So I would not mind. Yes, that daily starting point got some action. Whoever took that daily starting point definitely came up, right? But I still would like to see if the market can make its way, sweep this liquidity, give me an entry so we can shift that market down and clear these equal lows. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know. And honestly, it kind of looks like this for all of the yens, to be real. Like if they're all selling down, they all have this type of structure. I mean, low key, I'm probably trying to hop into a couple. right? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. This still looks pretty good. But right now, this would have been your test trade, especially if you were just testing the, the starting point. That was for sure your test trade. And we could even break this down, right? Just for the example of what we were talking about today. Right, let's get this out the way. Right, notice this was your test trade, guys. Now this would have been your big ass play, unfortunately. Right, this would have been your test trade. And honestly, with something that looks like this, I'm usually not test trading a whole lot. I'm just waiting for the confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just a pretty big stop loss. And even though it's giving you 1 to 2 already, right here, this is already a winning trade, right? 1 to 3 is about right here. So even if that was a test trade, most people wouldn't do that because it's kind of big. And personally, for me, that's kind of big, and that's kind of like, especially for CHF JPY, I would rather just wait for confirmations. You know what I'm saying? But this would be the play. Now, if you're someone who's willing to take this, take it. Do what you got to do. This is a setup. You could run your odds on this. This was already good based off of the daily starting point, right? But based off of structure and how I'm seeing equal highs, I still want to go ahead and see if we can take something higher. And we can have a way better risk to reward, especially if we tackle these lows right here. That's already a 1 to 7. Now, if we can get that, that's pretty lit, right? That's pretty lit. But you still could have tackled this, right? So let's just go for the example, right? This would have been your test trade. Is everybody with me right now? First touch, right? First touch because of this right here, right? First touch, right? This is my test trade. Now, if I drop down a time frame, right? Right now, this is already the daily setup, right? This is already the daily setup. So this is macro. And as we drop down to the 1 hour time frame, this is the 1 hour time frame. Where is structure right now? Let's go ahead. Right? We have our BOS to the upside. BOS. This move was pretty clean, I'm not gonna lie. Right? BOS. So if this is my BOS, this right here is my change of character. Oh, look, levels is even letting me know, guys. Notice how we went from blue arrow, we're looking for buys, to red arrow, we're looking for sells. Levels is literally helping you. So let's go ahead. Let's confirm this. Change of direction. We got the sell opportunities, our sell confirmation. Now, off of structure, this is my head and shoulder, right? Off of the starting point, this would be the starting point on the 1 hour. But because it's CHF, guys, CHF kind of has choppy structure, and you're going to get stuff like this to where, yes, you could take this. This would be opportunity number 1, right? Because it's the closest one after the breakout. This could have happened, right? That could have happened. But something like this, you would have taken a loss if you're running your risk to reward, taking a loss here to take a higher entry here. So just something to think about. But based off of structure, this would have been your entry, and my stop loss would have been this high. Minimum 1 to 3 risk to reward, right? But if I'm looking to continue sales, I would have liked to, took on this. That's already a 1 to 9. And we're not quite there yet, but we could have definitely partialed out along the way as the market continued to drop. But 1 to 3 for sure, you would have ate. So notice how we go from risking something that looks like this to something that looks like this based off of the confirmations inside of structure or with the structure. Does that make sense, guys? Based off of the example that we drew out altogether, and then based off of what we just saw from the daily time frame all the way down to the 1 hour time frame.
It's making dollars, bro.
Yes, sir. So look, again, we found this setup, the continuation setup on the daily time frame. This is our daily starting point. Now, as we drop down, we can start to see structure. Now, I would like to go ahead and drop down a bit lower to see if we can get a bit more detailed. Boom, this is what we got. Yes to what you're talking about, and yes to their, yes, sir, got you. We get our break of structure, very last one, right? Notice it, we don't have any more break of structures, right? This is the very last one. We get our change of direction, and then the market comes back to a right shoulder. Yes, we probably get a little scared. I'm gonna lie, when I first got started, guys, when I saw the market go up higher, hit my entry, drop down lower, and then go higher and then like come close to my stop loss, guys, you don't even know how I'll be like panicking, bro. I'm just gonna exit. I'm just gonna exit. Guys, don't exit. It's okay. We found our setup, right? We found our opportunity. You're either gonna take your win or you're gonna take your loss. And then we learn from both of them afterwards, right? We already found our confirmations. Let the trade play out. Let the trade play out. And if you're confused on anything afterward, take a screenshot of the opportunity, send it in to me, right? At me in the chats, or we can talk about it on these calls, right? So you have to take these setups. Losses are part of the plan. They are part of the plan. It's the name of the game. You think, they're going to let people make money on the charts? No. They have to put people in fear. And for sure, if you see yourself get a wick entry, and then the market's just hugging your stop loss, hugging your stop loss, hugging your stop loss, you're thinking, oh man, the market's going to sweep it and then continue down. Sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't. That's why you have to let the trade play out, right? You have to let the trade play out. Does different sessions affect spreads? Yes. Anthony, yes, different sessions affect spread. That's why I personally don't really trade CHF, because they have like 20, 30 pip spreads. So something like this possibly could have, knocked you out, because spreads are something that looks like, maybe something like this wide, possibly that knocked you out, right? I don't know what spread is on CHF JPY, so I can't tell you, but yes, that matters. That's a great question, Anthony. That's something to be aware of. Right. And so honestly, if you're already trading anything with like a wide spread, like it just gets wider in some parts of the day. Right. So I don't like trading anything with widespread, because I don't want a wide entry and a wide stop loss. And that's something you have to think about while trading spread as well. So yeah, I like to trade some things with like under 15. Under 15 spread is pretty cool with me. I wouldn't mind it, especially if we have really good structure. But yes, let's go ahead and look at some of the charts that were sent in the chats, because I know some of you guys were sending these in from the jump. All right, first one is Michael's. I'm waiting for the same area, bro. You got some good eyes, my boy. Yes, sir. I'm waiting for the same area, guys. Notice how we have, there's a break of structure down here somewhere. Now the market gave us a starting point right here. Literally a snipe. A snipe. Your stop loss is down here where the top of the gray line is. Guys, that's a move. If whoever caught this move right here and shot the market up, you just came up. You just came up. You'll send it again? Okay, let's see.
No, it was the same.
Oh, okay.
One,
Got you. Yeah, so I like this one, right? We have the liquidity sweep, right? Consolidation was being built. And I do like how a lot of y'all Texans out there, I don't know who started it. I don't know if it was Gio or Kike, but you guys started boxing up your liquidity. And I like that, right? There's nothing that good happens inside of liquidity. Just like, when your parents say nothing good happens after 1 a.m. Like same thing, bro. Like in liquidity, nothing good happens, dog. Like it's just, it's nothing. It's nonsense. It's noise. Gio, yeah, Gio usually he's a trendsetter, bro. You know what I mean? It's just what Gio does. But liquidity, back and forth action. We get the sweep, and then right away, boom, market reverses. Now that's what we want. Secondly, once we get that reverse and we get that change of direction, we want the market to consolidate and build up a target point. Because once the market comes back inside this area, what do you think we're going to target to? Entry here, stop loss here. We want to target the highs. Does that make sense, guys? And for this example, I mean, we already have equal highs like a mug. So like once the market comes back inside of here, you know, we're going to do our best to see if we can catch these buys and shift the market up higher. Does that make sense? This right here is a good, Michael. I'm waiting for this specifically as well. I didn't participate in any buys inside of this area. I just didn't like it, especially with the equal highs. I was just sitting tight and waiting for these buys down here. So that's what I'm looking at specifically, just like y'all. So good shit, bro. Let's go ahead. I think that's the one I just clicked on. Jasmine. Okay. GBP USD. Okay, so this is the thing, right? You have your breakage structure at the right area, right? You have your breakage structure at the right area, which is this. Now, this is the thing. I still like this, or even this right here, right? If we don't break and close above, we are not looking for buys yet. And if you really want to be sure, even this one, but I would not mind because we do peak a bit lower. This low made this high if you're trying to be really, really tight with the market, right? But either or, one of these has to get broken and closed above. Does that make sense, Jasmine? The market has to make its way and close above, hang out up here for a little bit, and then once the market comes back, then we would be looking for some buy opportunities, right? So that would give me a lot more confidence, to be honest. Jasmine, are you on the call? Yeah, that would give me a lot more confidence. But it looks like the market may be shifting here, right? We just got this. Just be careful with that. Honestly, I would still like to wait for the market to break and close above here, because we do have equal lows now. So this is the thing, right? When the market is heading down and we don't have confirmation, oops, that was crooked. When we don't have confirmation, right? The market will make it look like there's an inverted ready to go higher. And then what happens is it makes a regular head and shoulder and then continues down lower. So I've gotten got with that with this setup so many times. And how do I not get got with that? You have to mark up your BOSs and wait for this to happen. Guys, does that make sense? Because you're going to see this and think, oh, it's ready to start going up higher now. But they fooled you. They fooled you because they know you're waiting for the basic head and shoulder. But we ain't no basic bitches. We ain't basic. We have to wait for the market to break out, hang out up here, and then come back so we can take that buy, right? So just be careful with this setup right here, Jasmine. This is the 4 hour for GBP USD. I like this as well, right? So look at this, right? It looks like we could be heading down because we don't have that change of character, and it could be setting up for a regular head and shoulder right now. Right now, we go back to when we go to Michael's, it looks like it's in perfect structure for buys. We know if the market's going up for GU. Look at what happened. Consolidation, liquidity sweep, right inside of this starting point. We get the continuation BOS. We hang out up here again. I would like to see if we can make our way down so we can continue up with that bullish movement. That is also what I'm waiting for Michael. My boy Michael has been, I don't know, maybe he got my credentials for my trading view and he's just been marking up his charts and looking at mine at the same time. I don't know.
Bro, it's that boot camp, bro.
Let's go, baby. Hey, if you watch that boot camp and you take it serious, you do start to like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But yes, I do like that, Michael. I do like that, my boy. Looks fire. Let's see. Mike sent another one. This was the US 30. Mike sent another one, US 30. He said, bro, look at my US 30, bro. US 30. He said, I'll send it again, US 30.
I didn't want to get lost in the chat. That's why I sent it, bro.
Nah, you good. But this is a more detailed picture of that GU, and I do like this. I like that you sent it a bit zoomed in. We talked about this on Friday as well when we back tested. Guys, starting point, snipe. We know that the market was looking for or was bullish. We know that there's a starting point right here, guys. Oh my gosh, when you can see that the market is bullish and there's a starting point right here, and then we just start to consolidate, guys, lock and load. Lock and load. Get ready for war. We're about to go ahead and strap up and ride that market to that moon, baby. That's a nice play. Now I'm waiting for the same exact thing for the market to come back inside this area so we can go ahead and start shifting the market up higher. This is really good. Let's go look at the USD JPY 15-minute time frame. Let's go take a look at this. USD JPY 15-minute time frame. So again, with the JPYs, market has been shifting a bit. We do get the right shoulder here, actually. Now, guys, this is fire. I don't know if you guys be marking shit up, but we have the BOS, we have the change of character, guys. Right shoulder snipe. Right shoulder did his dance. What is the market doing? It's literally like, bruh. Come on, bruh. That's over 900 pips. That's over 1,000 pips on a Forex pair. You're not gonna tell me, bro, that you haven't been able to catch 1,000 pips on a Forex pair. Bro, we've been looking at the yens for like the past 6 months. We've called this out. We called this out. Right? So it's important y'all pay attention because some of y'all try to catch 1,000 pips on indices and gold, but I bet it's super hard for y'all to catch 1,000 pips on Forex pairs. Guys, we do this shit for real on this call. If you guys take the notes and you guys plug in and you guys start applying what you guys are learning with levels and smart money, guys, 1,000 pips on a Forex pair is going to be cake for y'all. And I say that very confidently. Very confidently. We've been doing this for a minute. We've been catching moves like this since I started these calls 3 years ago. Plug in, guys. Take the notes, please. I promise you, it's gonna pay off. We're gonna have the same play again. Look at this. Break a structure. BOS to the upside. I would like to see if we can change character so we can finally get this continuation sell to the downside. So as we drop down to the lower time frame, what's going on right here? What can we see that's right here, guys? We know that the market is heading down. So we want to look for sells. We have a break of structure to the downside, letting us know the market wants to continue down. We have a red arrow. Match that red arrow to the bears. Levels is letting you know this is our next best sell opportunity. Wow, if you're paying attention to levels here and levels here, levels could have been helping you catch these sell opportunities. Insane. So as we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to shrink this starting point to this one. And I do see a bit of head and shoulder structure right here. So I'm going to go ahead and run my risk to reward in that area as well. Why is that a head and shoulder? Well, let's go ahead and zoom in. And this will be a lot more easy to see on the 1-hour time frame. So notice how we have higher high, higher low. We peak a bit higher, and then we change direction and head lower. So as soon as we see that, guys, in a downtrend, we want to go ahead and do our best to catch those as well. So we have 2 opportunities in this downtrend. Now we're also on the 4-hour time frame, and we do have our closest starting point right here. Let's see. It looks like it already got a reaction off of it. Let's drop down. So because we have a reaction off of it and we already had that, sell down to the downside, this is my BOS. Now I would like to see if we can get that change of character in this area. Now, if we can go ahead and get something that looks like this, we can go ahead and continue down. But if you already missed this move, then we have to wait. We have to wait, right? So be patient. We either wait for the market to go up a bit higher and change direction here, right? So we can have this move. Yeah, I like the higher one as well. I do like the higher one as well. So I didn't participate in this sell-off. But if the market changes direction, I would not mind continuing that trend, because when the market is super, super bearish, right? Sometimes it's going to leave these zones right here. It's going to leave these zones and just participate in these. And that's where risk to reward comes in. And that's where you have to have a strong mind, because that's why risk to reward with 1 to 3s are so important, because you can take a loss right here, and this one smacks. And then you just recoup up your 2 losses and some, but you have to have that strong mind. Does that make sense, guys? Let's just draw it out. Let's say we take a loss right here, and this is just hypothetical, right? We take a loss right here. Boom. We're down 1%. Oops. We take a trade right here, and we're down another 1%. And then we take a trade right here, and this is finally the one that hits, right? So we take a loss. And again, this is why I like this test trade, because if I take a loss on a test trade, I don't lose that much, and I still have a lot of ammo for when we do get the confirmation, right? But let's say we get the hitter that's right here. We already make back those 2 losses plus 1%, right? But look, if we're going to continue, we have a low, high, and this is where the market starts to reverse and makes that U-turn and come back for you. If we get this entry to sell the market down, where do we want to target at, guys? Where do we want to swing down to? Draw it on my chart if you think you know. That would be my first area, yes. So Juan put this as an inverted. That would be my first area, 100%, because somebody's going to be looking at that for buying, even if it's a small counter trend, even if it's a small little boom counter trend, continue sales, right? I don't want to give no money back. So it would for sure be here first, but I would still like to tackle the lows, especially if we're going to be bearish, right? With the yens, would still like to tackle these lows. So even at that left shoulder, which is here, we're already at a 1 to 7. Right? So think about it. You take 2 losses and you hit your 1 to 7, you're at 5%. You recoup back your 2, right? You're up. Yeah, you're 1 to 7. You recoup back your 2 losses, you're at 5%. This has to stay tough. When we know we're looking for sales, guys, we have to let our risk to reward do the talking and trust our setup and trust our strategy. This is why risk to reward is super important, guys, and why test trading is important just as much, right? So I hope that made sense to you guys. I really do hope that makes sense. And if this takes, the bottom, that's a 1 to 9, So again, 1 to 9, you back your 2 losses, you're up 7%. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, I hope that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions before we end this call tonight? Let's go, Etney. Let's go. Any questions before we end this call? We're good? We're good, fam? We good? Bet, guys. Hey, this is a fire Monday basics call. And this is how you guys should be approaching the charts every day. This was a basics call, right? But I just broke down something super, super I mean, it was kind of tough. What would you say? Advanced, right? This is an advanced market structure right here that I just broke down to you guys. So if you were able to take this in and soak this in and you think you could apply it, I just broke down something advanced and made it basic for you guys to start applying. Right. So just because I say basic Monday, no, I make it basic for y'all. Right. So for Chris, someone who's new, right? If you're able to take something away from this, right? That's great, bro. I hope to see you on Friday's call, and I hope to even see you on the next Monday basis call, my boy. So, Christopher, I hope to see you on Friday and next Monday, bro. But with that being said, guys, if we don't have any questions, I will see you guys on Friday. When are you planning to upload the recording? I will either upload them tonight or tomorrow, Etney. I got you. Okay, yeah, I got you. I will definitely shoot that to you. So with that being said, guys, you guys have a great night. Have a great trading week. If you have any charts, send them in at me, and we'll go ahead and give you some feedback. You guys have a blessed week. See you guys.